I have to say, your shows back in the day actually came out at a time when you wonder if these shows would still have happened in this day and age. They came out in that time where good comedies that felt risky and that felt a little dangerous were actually on the air. And what a
Yeah.
wonderful risk, because truly, I think people who saw those shows and continue to watch them and whatever, specifically Reno, like, it's one of those shows you can't believe it happened. You can't believe there was a moment
And you
in which
never
this
knew.
beautiful, perfect thing
Yeah.
that slayed and informed and really influenced so many comedians actually happened.
Well,
And
that's
that
very
it was
nice
by
of
the
you.
seat of your pants.
Yeah.
That you just sort of thought you never really knew what was going to happen.
Mhm.
You know, in the same way, it was such a brilliant concept too, because in the same way that a show like Cops has that, and I don't even think it was necessarily built in. I'm sure the idea was, oh, that would be funny.
Well,
But
actually, you
there
just
was
hit the
this-
nail on the head.
Yeah.
More than you realize, because the way that Reno happened, we're about to do our 20th anniversary little roundtable thing with Variety. And we actually did the pilot not 20 years ago, but 23 years ago for Fox. And the way it came about was that Tom Lennon, Ben Grant, and I had written a sketch show for Fox. They said, we want to do sketch. We kept saying, are
They
you sure
said
that's what
that
you want to do?
every year forever. They said
Because
it.
they say it
Yeah.
every year forever, and then it
Yeah.
doesn't happen. So they said, no, this is what we want. So we wrote a sketch show. We hired all the actors that you now see on Reno
Mhm.
for a sketch show. Had nothing to do with Reno. The show, we went to the sets were built, wardrobe was ready. We were at the table read for the sketch show, and it was dead silent. And we realized they don't want to do this anymore. So that night, Tom or Ben called and said, listen, we're out of money. We're out of time. They don't want this show. What if we did a spoof of Cops, which is on their network, and just throw a Hail Mary? So we did. We said, okay, guys, we called the cast and said, do you know how to improv? We don't either. We don't have time to write it. What do you want your name to be? And then we went and improvised it. And we'd never done improv before.
Wow.
So that's how it came
Wow.
about. Then it sat on the shelf for a few years. And then Comedy Central called one year and said, we have a slow season. Do you guys have anything? And we jokingly said, got that pilot we did 3 years ago for Fox, if you
I
want to
did
see if they
not
want to
know
give it
that.
up. And so it just remained improv because it kind of worked. So
Unbelievable. I have to say, this is really an example of just necessity being the mother of invention. Like, it always
100%.
is incredible to me when these things fall into place like that.
Well, I will tell you, I can guarantee you that if we had written this and had time to work on this script, this show wouldn't
Yeah.
exist today.
Right.
We're
Isn't
still
that wild?
making it in various forms. We just
Yeah.
did a Christmas movie for Comedy Central, and there's 2 seasons on Roku that are newer, and we did a movie year before that. So it keeps on. I really think it's because of the way it started.
It's even I mean, this sounds so shallow, but it's even on dates. You can kind of gauge someone by whether or not they've watched Reno. Truly, it's like one of those things that's sort of like, oh, do
That's
you
one
like
of your
Reno?
questions.
Well, yeah, it has been before. Yeah, like, oh, what shows do you watch? And if Reno's on there, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
they're a psycho
You know what I mean?
killer.